comic friends, I'm Travis, and it's New Comic Book Day! Or at least New Comic Book Day for me. 12 issues this week. What's up with that? That's like a super light week for me. Anyway, little what to Fugue. I've gotten myself my drawer boxes. I ordered 10 drawer boxes because I'm getting tired of the fight with really, really full boxes. You know, like my B's with Batman and Batgirl and Batwoman and all that kind of stuff are super full. And every time I get more books, I have to shove them in. I have to move stuff around. So instead of just buying 5 boxes, I bought 10 boxes because I actually have 2 boxes full, 2 long boxes, standard long boxes that are full of comics, a short box that's full of comics, and 2 or 3 piles of a couple hundred comics sitting around. And I knew by the time I got that all shoved in, I would then once again be out of room. This way, I'm going to be able to hopefully make each box have like 3/4 full, so I got plenty of room to kind of shuffle around and then determine, you know, if I've got more titles that are like in the B's, which I do. I have lots of titles that start in the B's. Leave those drawers emptier so I can shuffle stuff around more. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. I'll be putting that together. It took me a while to... I put down a rack that's about 4 inches tall base that my boxes all sit on. That gives me... because all my comics are in the basement, in the off chance that there is flooding of any sort, you know, if it's going to flood, it has to flood my entire basement before it would become an issue for any one place. So I've got all that square footage to cover, plus I give myself that 4 inches, so it has to flood a lot. And I'm always hoping that if a flood starts, pipe breaks, something like that, you know, sewer system backs up, heaven forbid, any of those kinds of things, I've got a little bit of time to start getting my comics out of the way before they start to get wet. Nothing worse than wet comics. I almost rather they catch on fire and burn because then they're just gone than have them a soggy mess kind of a thing. So anyway, so I had to get that base built. I do have that base built, so this weekend hopefully I'll get on that. Get them all in the doors. The doors are actually going where the boxes are going to start going where where the screen is at. So at some point, ideally, instead of having sideways Batman across there, it'll be long boxes. Probably the back side of long boxes, but it'll be long boxes. So it'll be a more natural barrier from seeing clear the heck to the back side of my basement. The biggest reason I have that barrier there is so you don't have to see all the stuff that's back there, and it's such a great distance that I'm worried the camera is going to focus on something behind me, and it's the full length of my house just about, so it would be out of focus for anything I'm doing here. And we don't want to have my lovely beard out of focus, right? So hopefully I have all that. Just this last week, I bought a ton of back issues, one whole Brave and the Bold, and a whole bunch of Batman and a whole bunch of detective comics. The local comic book shop was having a sale. Comics were under $1. And when comics are under $1, you go crazy, right? So, don't know. I could see if I can move my camera. My desk camera. See those 2 piles right there? Yeah, those 2 piles. Now that I messed my camera up. Those 2 piles are... yeah, this was not the way to do this, was it? Okay, so anyway, those 2 piles. I'll probably show those off, so that'll be a really boring video of just looking at covers. I don't know how much I'll have to say about a lot of them. I haven't read a lot of them. I kind of perused through some of them as I was rebagging and boarding them. So there's some funny shots in some of those and some cool stuff. So I will talk about them some, but not a whole lot. I'll flip through. You'll get to see the covers. You get to see what I wasted my money on. And yeah, that's that. So without further ado, got myself some tea. This is extremely hot. Anyway, like I said, I had 12 books. I don't think there's a single book this week that I am not excited about. A couple in particular that I'm super excited about. Just looking at the invoice, it suddenly occurred to me I wasn't sure there was a book on there, but it is. So start out with, this is probably the book I'm the least excited about on the book, but I'm actually kind of interested in it. I think this is supposed to expose a whole bunch of stuff in Ms. Marvel issue number 21. I think we get a big reveal as to who this bad guy is. Some of us are suspect that it is Bruno. I guess we'll find out for sure. But yeah, jumping into that, see where that goes. I like that cover. I like the colors on that cover anyway. So, new Superman. Yeah, this is the Shanghai Under Siege. We've got our Superman Prime, the Omega Superman, wreck and stuff, and he is being pushed by kind of a yin and yang sort of a thing, and our Justice League China is hunting them down. I'm kind of hoping the artist changes again soon. We'll see. That's the only other thing about this book that I have some concerns with. Red Hood and the Outlaws. We're gonna get some good old Bizarro stuff going on here. I would guess the life of Bizarro. We got Lex Luthor there on the cover. He's saying, "Stand down, outlaws! Only Lex Luthor can save Bizarro." Because of course Bizarro is he's falling apart. He had a shelf life, and he is at the end of that shelf life. So we'll see what happens. And he spent a lot of his last dying breaths basically saving Artemis and Red Hood. So, yeah, been an excellent book. Excellent book. Issue 13. Rolling into the second year. Book I'm super excited about. This is Jody Billeri and Vanessa Del Rey. Clayton Klaus does the lettering. Redlands, issue number 1. Very, very much excited to check this book out. Of course, we all know Jay Billeri for all the awesome colors that she does. She's an Eisner Award-winning colorer. She colors some of the greatest books that are out right now. I just generally like her as a person from what I've read her say and how she behaves on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I just really like her. Very excited to see this book. It's about witches, and basically witches fighting back. I'm tired of being the victims, no more, basically. And this book is a big deal because they all have creator rights in this. I mean, even the letterer has creative rights on this book. So if it picks up for a movie, TV show, whatever else comes out of it, they all have a vested interest in it, even the letterer. And I think that's really cool. That's where creator-owned comics should go, in my opinion. Pretty much everybody should have a stake, if they are a part of the machine that really has an impact on making it important. That's cool. Cool for them to do that. I hope it's successful. I'm very much excited to read it. It's probably second on my list to read today when I start reading my books. Wicked and Divine. This is issue 30. The Morgan on the front there. We're always very much looking forward to this. All kinds of dark is going on because the darkness is approaching, and the gods are trying to figure out exactly what they're supposed to be doing with themselves now. All kinds of drama. Very much looking forward to seeing what is going on in that, as always. Next up, we have Grass Kings. This is issue number 6. This is the end of the arc, the beginning of a new one, is my understanding. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. Love this cover. That's actually the Grass King, I believe, there on the cover. He's got the beard and whatnot, hanging onto some guy's arm. He's got a hockey stick in his hand. All kinds of chaos is going on because the sheriff's department from the town next door has basically swarmed the grasslands and is trying to take them all out. And the grasslands are doing a pretty decent job of defending themselves. Last issue, we were kind of ended with they had their own little private airplane strip, and a pilot took off and has dropped some sort of ordnance onto the grasslands. So we'll see what that ends up being. Could be really interesting. Very much been enjoying that book. Next up, we have The Unsound. This is issue number 3 of 4, because I think this is 4 issues, and it really is an unsound book. And it's wonderful. It's creepy, eerie. Look at that as the floor tiles pop away, and there's all this kind of head trippy kind of stuff. largely one of the things that makes this book so good is the Jack T. Cole artwork. He's got a really good style. The coloring on it is really good. Really like all the aspects of that. He keeps it simple, but has the right details in the right kind of places and whatnot. I think he places color well and stuff. And Cullen Bunn's telling a really good story of a kind of a more suspenseful, creepy end of stuff as opposed to necessarily blood and guts, violence, sort of a suspense. So very much looking forward to reading this. I've been enjoying the first 2 issues. So they're getting ready to go through this really kind of eerie door that's like into a sub basement that I believe is going to take them to a even earlier insane asylum that was on this ground before the current insane asylum they're trying to escape from was planted on top of it. So other stuff. The book I am most looking forward to reading this week is Mr. Miracle #1 by Tom King and Mitch Geralds. These guys were amazing on Sheriff of Babylon. Of course, Tom King wrote an amazing maxi series, 12 issues on the Vision. Is some pretty brilliant stuff. Probably close to book of the year, if not last year, as far as I'm concerned. So super high hopes for this. Really excited about it. Really excited to see what this is. I love this character, Mr. Miracle. I own most of the original Mr. Miracle run from Jack Kirby. I don't expect this to have anything basically to do with what was there. We're taking these characters and we're going to do something else with them and whatnot. Kind of the basic premise of the original story. But doing something else and whatnot. I have purposely not read lots of interview stuff about this book and whatnot. I kind of want to go into it blind and get my own take on it. Then I'll go and check out, this is what it's supposed to mean, or this is what it is, or whatever. I have seen lots of people talking about how awesome this is on Twitter, and I am just very, very stoked for it. Like I said, I really, really love this character, the people around this character, so I'm very excited for this. And it is going to be 12 issues. So this is one of 12. Very much looking forward to that. Another book I'm always excited to see. I love it. For the art, if nothing else, Low. This is issue number 19. Tanachi's artwork is just amazing. This kind of etherealness to it. And even though he's not coloring his own work anymore, David Craig is coloring it. It's still excellent because David Craig is an excellent colorist also. This Remender book about hope, about losing hope, about fighting to keep hope, and all that stuff. And I love it. People will continue to argue with me about whether or not the whole hope aspect of this book is cheesy. I don't think it is. I think it's a unique perspective in a plethora of cynical comic books. This one has plenty of cynicism in and of itself as people come to the edge of being broken and sometimes are broken. And can they come back from that? Can they re-embrace hope to move forward, that there is something else, there's something better? Because this entire world that's under the waters and the precipice of complete and utter death, what is waiting for them above on ground is in some ways. So it'll just be interested to see where it all goes, what's going on with these daughters, and right now and their adventure, because we've kind of moved away from mom, but the two daughters are very interesting what they have going on. And there's an android that's in this that potentially could give us some interesting story also. So very much looking forward to continuing to read that book. It had a break, so I'm excited to have it back and see what's going on with it. Next up, we have Kill or Be Killed. This is issue number 11. Always a brilliant book by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips and Elizabeth Brewster on color. I think this is the issue where Dylan, our main character, kind of turns the guns on the Russian mob that's kind of been chasing him. He's going to chase them because it has occurred to him and been reaffirmed after his drug dealer, the person that gives him his antipsychotics and that sort of thing, once he is killed in the tuffle with the Russian mob, that they're going to keep coming after him. They're going to keep coming after his loved ones until he does something back to them. That he needs to take care of that business. That'll satisfy this need to to kill because this demon is haunting him. And of course, last issue we found out that maybe there really is no demon. Maybe he really has been hallucinating the whole thing. He's been off his anti-schizophrenic meds because we see that one of his dad's old pieces of art has the exact demon that's haunting him in it. Is it just coincident? Is that the image that the demon has taken, or is he just, mentally ill? So great stuff. Very much looking forward to checking that out. Next up, we have Hellboy in the BPRD 1955 Secret Nature. I believe this is a one-shot. Magnolia, Chris Robinson, written. Sean Martinborough doing the art. Of course, always Dave Stewart on colors. Martinborough did the cover, so there's we get a glimpse of what the art's going to be like inside. I'm not familiar with Martinborough. I like the cover, though. I like the way it looks. So... yeah, I always dig these kind of one-shot Hellboy BPRD kind of things. They're just a lot of fun. So look forward to checking it out and seeing what that is. Not sure who this character is for sure, so we'll find out what that is. Should be some good stuff. And finally this week, Batman Detective Comics. This is issue number 962. More of the intelligence. We're getting the Uber Azrael here, I believe. Check out those claws on him. That is a pretty wicked looking suit. Just to see where this whole, fight and this struggle to, for Azrael not to go back, to revert back to the old sinful killing ways, kind of a thing. So look forward to checking that out too. A good mix of comics. Not a ton of official DC books or Marvel books that matter. 3 DC technically, 1 Marvel, the Mr. Miracle, wherever that falls out. I know it's a superhero comic, but it's going to kind of be in its own category, I'm sure. But like I said, super excited. It's going to be a great week of books for me to read. Only 12. Will be a comic book roundtable. I am fairly sure I am up on spirits now. So I am pretty sure. Last week I was kind of anyway. So even if nobody else shows up at the Comic Book Roundtable, I will be on the Comic Book Roundtable, and I will be talking my comics. I'll be talking to you in the audience. If you're there and chatting to me, we'll have a conversation about these books and whatever else you want to have a conversation about in the off chance that my other comic book friends don't show up. But I suspect that they'll be here this week. Anyway, have a great one, everybody, and see you on the weekend.